Hi everyone, in this video we'll be looking into an exhibition match between Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura and the Grandmaster and the former 5-time world champion Vishy Anand. Let's jump right into the game. Hikaru Nakamura starting with the white pieces go for 1 e4. Vishy Anand replies with e6, d4, d5, e takes on d5, e takes on d5, knight to f3, bishop to d6, c4, c6, c5, bishop to c7, bishop to d3, knight to e7. Nakamura goes for castling, bishop to g4, rook to e1, knight to d7, queen to e2, h6, h3, bishop to e6, b4. Vishy Anand goes for castling. Knight to c3, rook to e8, queen to c2, knight to f8, knight to e2, knight on e to g6, knight to g3, knight to h4, knight to h2, knight on f to g6, bishop to d2, knight to f4, bishop to f1, queen to f6, queen to c3, bishop to d7, knight to g4, queen to g5, knight to e5, bishop takes on e5, rook takes on e5, rook takes on e5, d takes on e5. After this mistake from Hikaru Nakamura, Vishy Anand is having a slight advantage of minus 1.7. And I want you to pause this video for a moment and try to figure out a brilliant move Vishy Anand can play in this position that will increase his winning chances. Kudos if you are able to find out the brilliant move that Vishy Anand can play after this mistake from Hikaru Nakamura. And the move is a knight sacrifice. This knight is being pinned by the bishop. So the moment the knight leaves, the bishop will take on the queen. But Vishy Anand decided to sacrifice this knight anyway and play knight takes on h3 with check. The problem is that if Hikaru accepts this sacrifice, then Vishy Anand will play queen takes on d2, giving away his queen. And once the queen captures, then it will be knight to f3, forking the king and the queen, and the royal fork, and he will end up, once the king moves, he will end up picking the queen as well. So foreseeing this, Hikaru Nakamura doesn't fall into the trap, and he continues with king to h2, knight to f4, rook to e1, knight on h2 g6, knight to e2, knight takes on e2, rook takes on e2, queen to h4 with check, king to g1, rook to e8, g3, queen to h5, f4, knight to e7, rook to h2, queen to g6, a3, bishop to f5, king to f2, rook to d8, bishop to e2, d4, queen to b2, bishop to g4, bishop to f1, queen to e4, queen to b3, d3, king to g1, knight to f5, e6, knight to d4, and e7. And it was in this position, after 41 moves into the game, Hikaru Nakamura has resigned the game to Vishy Anand. The reason for resignation is that if Nakamura decides to continue this game, Vishy can go here. Instead of capturing this queen here, he can give a check here by playing knight to f3 with check. And once king moves to f2, he can go back and take this pawn. And now Vishy Anand is up upon 2 pawns. And once Nakamura continues like playing queen to c3, queen to e4, rook to g2, bishop to h3. The rook is doomed anyway, there is no safe squares anymore for the rook. g4, bishop takes on g2, bishop takes on g2, queen to e2 with check, king to g3, and knight takes on d2. So Vishy Anand is upon 7 points of material with this continuation. So this is the best continuation Nakamura can play to prolong the game. This is not a worthy continuation to play. Nakamura has decided to resign to Vishy Anand after e7.